And just like that, it's another Tuesday night. Welcome to Generation Movie on a Tuesday night. My name is JW Colwell, joined as always by Kyle Defina to my left, and then Jerry on bottom. Good evening, friends. Good evening, Ken McKernan. How are you? Hope you are well, my friend in Canada. We are bracing for a pretty big storm down here. Schools are closed on Thursday. So are you brushing your eyebrow?
Oh yeah,
All right.
switchblade.
Did you say that singular eyebrow?
Yes.
No, I
Right
said eyebrow.
across.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Joe Ridgely. Thank you for joining us tonight. So happy to be here. Boys, hi, Raven. Raven had a good time this weekend. Started driving around with ghouls on top of her cart.
Oh, the best was one of them called her Meals on Wheels.
Well, I mean, theoretically, that's how it would work, right? I mean,
Yeah, it was great. Fun time.
Okay.
Tony Haunt. Always suggest it.
Well, if you like talking to us about different things like that, by all means, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel or check out our Facebook page or our Instagram page or any of the other 100 things we have going on. So much going on. So many good things going on this weekend. Where would you two like to start? I'm gonna leave it open. Kyle, where would you like to start?
Well, I did enjoy Transformers 1. I did see that.
Fucking great, right?
It was a fun fucking ride. I enjoyed it immensely. And I had a big smile on my face knowing.
Tell me that last 10 minutes doesn't just like where you're just like, yes.
Yeah.
Did you stay all the way through the credits?
Yes.
Whoo!
Oh boy.
I'm very much like. Well, let's start with that. That's a good place to start.
Okay, good place to start.
It's a good place to start.
Born Without a Cog is a good place to start.
Born Without a Cog. So these two boys. So a couple of things happened this weekend. It didn't do well, which is a mod. It did okay. Like it did okay for a September. Kids movie. Kids movies in September are notoriously not great. But it grossed 24.6 million over the weekend. They were expecting anywhere from 30 to 35 million. So it was well under. The other main problem is that it wasn't number one because Beetlejuice beat it, earning 25.9 million. And they thought they were going to catch Beetlejuice, but they didn't. Beetlejuice is now over $226 million, which is an astounding effort for a 30-something-year-old sequel. But the thing about Transformers 1, the interesting thing it has going for it is that what you just did should have been a summer movie and kids are on break. There was no place to open it during summer. Summer was rough, Inside Out, and it would have stumbled there too. I think the reason it would have stumbled there too. I think the two things that are happening with this franchise right now that are interesting. One, it's a live action franchise that is shifting to animation. And the reason for that is this movie only cost $75 million to make, and I know you say only $75 million, but if then a Christmas movie, big problems there too, because there's some big Christmas movies coming out. So they put it on the schedule in September when it had no competition. And so what I think there are two things that has going for it. One, the cost of the movies are way down. So like if you were doing this movie in live action, it probably would have been a $200 million effects movie. Give or take, it probably would have been a huge budget, right? So they only cost $75 million. The other thing is they get more toys and ancillary, obviously, because kids are going to be wanting to be playing with it for the rest of the year, and it's going to make great Christmas stuff. The other thing that it has going for it is that the scores coming out of it are astounding. They're some of the highest scores that an animated movie has had since Inside Out 2, since Spider-Verse. The movie that it's tracking like is Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse opened in a December hole, and it didn't open big, but then it bounced around for a few months and ended up making 190 million. If they make their money back, if they hit 100 million with this movie in the next 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and then it goes to Paramount Plus, they would be ecstatic with it because they're once the movie. I feel I don't know how you feel about Kyle now that you've seen it. Don't you feel once people see it, they'll be like, "I want to revisit it." It's that good. Like it's that good, right?
I,
Like it hits all the
uh,
right spots. It hits everything, and that last 20 minutes is really good. Like
I think this weekend in your area is going to be prime time for people to go see it because of the weather. I don't know about down there, but this past weekend in the Northeast, it was not a good weekend to be indoors. It was beautiful out. Like
It was.
you,
well, and I
Yeah,
can
it's
understand.
crappy right now, though.
They're not really talking about weather. They're not really talking about weather or anything having any effects on the gross. But I would say that with the word of mouth on this movie is the type of word of mouth that once it gets like once people start seeing it, it's like that old commercial. Remember that commercial, the kissing commercial on MTV? I kiss one person, they kiss two people, and they kiss two people, and they kiss two
and then
people,
they all have Skittles all over their
and
face.
they all Skittles all over the face. But yeah, like I think it's one of those movies that, like Into the Spider Verse, right? Um, it could launch a new franchise and also kind of bump along for a while, right? Because there's the Wild Robot's opening, but the Wild Robot is totally different. This is more of a fanboy movie. This is more of people like again the cross generation of people that are in the theater, the cross section of people that are in the theater. Dating yourself, JW? Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with dating myself. I'm fine. I'm wearing a Superman the movie shirt for fuck's sake. Um,
I'm going to
hello,
see
Misty.
Super slash Man tomorrow.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that. I want to
Yeah,
talk about it.
I
But
knew
Yeah,
you would.
like I said, I think Beetlejuice is one of the really great story. Is it the best movie? No, but it's pretty fun. Like I thought it was fun. Wild Robot does look fantastic. Everything looks great about Wild Robot. I saw a great scene they showed the other night on television, and it was the most adorable thing because I guess she adopts a duck, and she's building like a refuge for them, and the duck keeps coming up and tapping her on the toe with like one little stick in his beak, and he puts the stick down, and he goes away, and she's building, 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 and he comes over and knocks on her feet again. I think it looks great. It looks fantastic. It looks everything like we want, unique and original and fresh. But Transformers One deserves to do better, like that, and that's what I'm saying. Like I think the word of mouth on Transformers One, I think it holds remarkably well next week, even though Wild Robot is opening, and we'll see what happens after that plays out. Ideally, you wouldn't want these two movies on top of each other. Um, but what are you going to do? I also did what I said I was going to do. I did
Drugs.
Batman on Friday. Pretty amazing on the big screen. I'm going to tell you a funny thing that I noticed. So we're watching the big screen. Wasn't super packed, but it wasn't dead either, right? It was like 30 people for an afternoon show on a Friday. And there's one sequence where the Joker blows up a television, and it usually got a laugh, but it was like the Joker being destructive, but it got a laugh this year because the Joker's line, he blows up the television after it's a story about Batman, right? He blows up the TV as a punching, like he has a glove that punches into the television. Um, yes, I've heard a lot of good things about Transformers, so hopefully word of mouth helps. I think it will. Also, I think we're in a weird section of the world right now where a weird section of our universe right now where movies don't get a lot of time in theaters and then they're immediately on the streamers. So hopefully it'll stream well as well. But the Joker says, "Where and what kind of a world do I live in where a man dressed as a bat gets all of my press, right? And I don't remember the line ever hitting before. But in 2024, with the parallels to what we're living in and what we're dealing with like press and everything that's going on, it got a huge laugh in the theater, much bigger laugh than I ever remember it getting any other time, right? I absolutely love Transformers 1. I think it was really well done and was super entertaining. Yeah, it's a great movie. It does a lot. It does a lot of and also Missy, I saw your review on Saturday when you're giving away spoilers. Just so we're clear, this is an original adaptation of the material. So it isn't the well-known story that you think it is. Like it's never been. This is a Transformer story that's never been told this way. Like it's always been told that Optimus and Megatron were on opposite sides, but it's never been told that they were friends. Like so, this is an original take on it. And then let's say for the after credit sequence is bone chilling in every conceivable way, and
It's just
like
Charles and Magneto retold.
yeah, it is. It is, but it's
Cartoon mode.
there's something about Optimus Prime that's that sequence where he's talking to the miners is absolutely like
I
it just
watched something.
gets you going. What'd you watch?
I watched that Rebel Ridge.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I
Did you
dug
like
it.
it? Yeah,
I
it's a
dug
good
it.
movie, right?
Yeah, I see
Did
what
you-
you when you made the reference to like First Blood.
First Blood,
I see how you got that out of that.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, because it reminded me a lot of First Blood. It's like you're fucking with the wrong person.
Yeah, it's
Like, and
elements
when
of that with like it kind of reminded me of that Gerard Butler movie too a little bit. The one where they kidnap his wife. It's more recent. And he goes to their compound in the woods and
yeah,
breaks up their drug cartel or whatever. I forget the name.
yeah, but yeah, I like the one I was thinking of the most was First Blood because all it is like I'm just trying.
Yeah,
to
you
get,
don't belong in this town, and he keeps
I'm just
back.
trying to get my cousin out of jail because my cousin is in a lot of trouble if he goes to state prison. So I'm here with you. Have cash? Yes. Where'd you get it from? From a
drug
business.
money. It's drug money.
It's drug like
We have to hold it
motherfucker,
for
and like
evidence.
and that sequence. What it reminded me, what sequence reminded me the most of it, Jerry? And I'm not giving too much away. It's a great film. Anthony Pierce, Aaron Pierce is fantastic. Don Johnson is great.
Yep.
Anna Sophia Robb is really good as well. But the
Don
sequence
Johnson's
where I was
still
thinking
alive.
of First Blood, Jerry, is the sequence where they're in the house, they're in the jailhouse, and they're typing up like he says, "I'm part of this unit," and they keep on like they don't understand what the fuck it is, and then the one lady starts looking it up, and she's like, "I think he's on the homepage."
Yeah.
Right? And it turns out he's a professional of martial arts. What is it? One weapon or one mind, any weapon is the motto.
Well, and then they follow him out of town. Like,
yeah,
he
well, they
comes
do all
back.
kinds of stupid shit, and it's like, it layers a lot more than First Blood did because basically First Blood ends up with Stallone in the fucking woods just destroying people. But I think it has a lot going for it in that regard. It's just, it's timely, it's well done. Don't mess with good old boy towns kind of thing. I don't know. I really liked it, but I'm glad you liked it too. I think it's one of the better movies this year.
And then
I think.
Dawn after
Do you
that.
agree with me though? Do you think if it had made a theater run, it would have made a little money? Somebody would have found it.
Yeah,
Like it's
I
just a
think
good
so.
action
I think
movie.
it would have done well.
You know what I mean? Just somewhere, right? Anywhere.
I mean, it's Don Johnson. I mean, come on.
It's Don fucking Johnson. Okay, so I did Batman on Friday. It was great. Big screen. They're also running it the rest of the week, although we might be closed down on Wednesday and Thursday. We don't know yet. I know schools are closed in most of the area on Thursday already. So it's a real event. But yeah, so I also got to see this week. I know you guys are going to see it tomorrow. If two things, bring there was a lot of dust in the theater where I saw it. There was tons of dust. It was getting in my eyes a lot. Wink, wink. I was crying like a fucking baby. Um, it was great, and it really shed light on a few different things, like things I didn't really know about. Tells you a lot about Christopher Reeve as a person, as an actor, like where his kids all look like him, like all of them look like him somehow. Like they're all like 6 foot tall. Even the girl is like 6 foot tall. Like they're all huge. Um,
You know what?
and yeah, yeah.
You know what movie I liked of his? Above Suspicion.
Above Suspicion's great. I would also go.
I mean, he ends up
I
playing
always liked.
a paraplegic in the movie too.
Yeah, well, Above Suspicion was again right before the accident. Um,
It's like
which,
weird, right?
yeah, it's a real. They bring it up in the movie. Also, if you
Why
are
haven't they tapped one of his kids then to just play Superman? Why do we keep trying to cast it?
well, I don't know what is. I think his kid's into sports, but his second kid, Will, I think, is in the new Superman movie. His son is ginormous, looks just like him. Really cool.
Just
Like,
can't
and
act.
they all run the foundation.
Okay,
The Christopher Reeve
Zaslav
and
back a
Dana.
Brinks truck up to him. End of
Well,
story.
I Zaslav.
Okay, come on.
I don't
If you
trust
have a
Zaslav to do
fucking,
anything.
if
I
you
don't
have a
trust
decent
Zaslav.
Superman script and you say Christopher Reeve's son that looks exactly like him is going to play the part,
Yeah,
you're printing money. You
you are
almost
printing
have
it,
a
but
Disney fucking movie
let's
there.
not
Well,
give
well, Eastwood's kid didn't do Outlaw Josie Wales either, but
yeah, his one kid's gonna make a cameo and yeah, his one kid is in Superman. I think he's playing. I don't know what character he's playing. They're keeping it under wraps. But I'm not gonna short shrift Corn Sweat yet. Let's get there before we fight about it. Oh, I will tell you that you know what I did do in after watching it. Looks like doesn't mean he's a good actor. That's the
oof,
problem. The thing about Christopher Reeve that made him unique was he was a Juilliard trained actor, Shakespearean trained actor, and like the people that he knew that you don't even pay attention, don't even think about that he knows. Like he was very good friends with Jeff
Like
Daniels.
beyond Hark, Fortress of Solitude, Breach.
Well, yeah, but and the person that trained him was John Houseman. Do you remember the Paper Chase, that TV show and the movie, The Paper Chase? John Houseman, also in Scrooge and a bunch of other movies, but that older actor, right, where he trained him, and he said, you're meant to be a stage actor unless they give you a shit ton of money. And he auditioned for Superman, and he was like one of the stories goes behind the scenes was he was very good friends with William Hurt and Jeff Daniels. They were both really good friends with him. And William Hurt heard he was auditioning for Superman and said, "You're selling out." He's like, "I got to audition. I got to try." Right? He comes back from London, and William Hurt's like, "So what happened?" He's like, "Well, I got the part." Like, and then it just goes into everything. But like the story, everything else is so touching and amazing. And if you have a person in your life who's disabled, or if you have anybody in your life that's been sick, it is a joyous kind of like him finding himself after the injury and picking himself up off, like anything is possible kind of thing. And the idea that all of the money and stuff that he poured into it, that they've poured into the Christopher Reeve and Dana Reeve Foundation, at the end of the movie is really touching because they have all these people who are starting to walk because of the stuff that he poured into it to find a way to get back. So he's like, I may never walk, but somebody's going to. And it's just,
So you're telling us how his foundation got legs?
I hate you, Kyle. You got the favorite role for reading a book. That's right. Now I have to kill you all. Exactly. But yeah, it's a really great movie. It's so well done. It's it's got moments from Superman, throughout it. There's a huge running section about him and Marlon Brando not getting along, like Marlon Brando, like him telling William Hurt Marlon Brando is going to be in it, and then another section of where he goes, they were like, "What's it like to work with Brando?" And he's like, "Disappointing." Um, like he was just there for a check. And it like just really great behind the scenes. Also, the single most important relationship in his life, besides his wife and his children's mother and his kids, is Robin Williams, which I think people know, but you don't know the level until you see this movie where it delves into the relationship, and it's an amazing thing where Robin Williams was the only person to talk to him, like he wasn't in a wheelchair, so he loved spending time with Robin Williams. Robin Williams made him laugh, and they were, I just,
Robin Williams made everybody laugh.
well, that's the thing, and one of the assertions in the movie, Glenn Close makes the assertion that once Christopher Reeves died, it was easier for Robin Williams to kill himself. So it's like there are major things in the movie where you're just going, and when you see it, you go, oh, that makes sense. That makes more sense than you want it to make. Like sometimes two things connecting together, and you like, oh, I don't really want that to be connected, but then you listen to it or read it, and you go, ugh, that's connected. Sad. Damn it. Anyway, it's fantastic. It's not a drawing in the house. Everybody was happy. It's touching. It's also for anybody who's disabled or anybody. I just feel anybody that is disabled needs to see it. Just to, the idea that he changes his opinions on, the Above Suspicion movie you were talking about, right? He played somebody that's a quadriplegic, and he went to a disabled home to learn how to people got moved from the chairs or did whatever, and because he was from Juilliard, for fuck's sake. And one of the things he says is, I looked down on them, I pitied them, and he goes, maybe it was karma, maybe I deserve this for looking down on those people. And it's like it's profound, it's well done. And if you love Christopher Reeve, you will love him even more. And if he's your Superman, then like it's even more impressive. What else? So we did Batman, we did that, we did Transformers 1, Beetlejuice number 1 still. Kind of shocked with that. Wrestling movies, everything kind of slowing up. Number 1 of the world is still Inside Out 2. Everything's kind of whatever. As we plot along, the next big release is October 4th. Don't Ride Horses. Fuck. Christopher Reeve, not sure how good it was. You know what? It's a good adaptation, but one of the things that they talk about with that movie is first off, he directed 2 or 3 films where he directed them, and I don't know if everyone knows one of them, but it's not a bad adaptation. But what he did was he put all of the things that he was struggling with, he told the director and the writer to put it in. So one of the things that he was terrified about was his air hose coming out at night because he was on a ventilator. So one of the sequences in the movie is the air hose coming out and the nurse is not noticing it, and then coming in and putting the air hose back in. And it was like something. So it's something he put into the movie. A lot of the fears and the things that are in that movie are all him bringing everything to the table that he wanted to do to make it different from the Hitchcock version. So I have the utmost respect for Christopher Reeve right now. Like I also watched Superman the Donner Cut. Have you ever watched the Donner Cut? Either one of you? So Superman 2 is like one of the greatest movies ever made. Superman 2, the Donner Cut, is like a completely different movie. It changes a lot of stuff. Like there isn't the Paris opening, and I was amazed at how many things were changed for the Donner Cut. Like there's a lot of stuff changed.
So is
Like,
it better?
I don't know. Like, do you know how like sometimes you're seeing something where somebody's told you that this is the definitive version, but it's
Yeah.
not the version you grew up with,
Right.
right? And you watch it and you're like, I think I like it. That's an interesting change. I wasn't expecting. Like, I'll give you an example. So there's no Paris opening. There's no Eiffel Tower opening. The Phantom Zone gets broken by the missile in the first movie. So the missile he takes and he pushes up
Right.
and launches into the sky. The one that's head for Hackensack, New Jersey, right? The one he takes and launches up, right? Because the other one hits the San Andreas Fault. He launches it up. When he launches it up, it goes flying into space. And as it's flying through space, it hits the Phantom Zone. So there's no Paris opening. What else is different? The fight in the at the end in the Fortress of Solitude is a little bit different too. Like, there's not as much crazy shenanigans going on. Like, the various pictures of Superman, or him throwing the S sticker at Non. Right? There's not. It doesn't do any of that. It just kind of like they threaten Lois. He tells Lex about the changer. Right? Yes, and that's a big thing. Susanna York is completely gone. So everything that happens, like with the Kryptonian stuff, learning the legend, it's all fucking Brando. And it's Brando when he comes to him, it's not Susanna York going, if you really want to marry her, sure, go ahead. Brando is basically saying, you're letting them down, and you're letting me down, because I sent you there to be a champion, right? You're letting me down. So it's a down. It's like also in that sequence, Lois is wearing the Superman outfit, like the shirt. So she looks like she's in a super mini skirt kind of thing. Like, it's like she just woke up, rolled out of bed, and kind of just threw a shirt
Sure
on.
you rented the right one?
I don't know. But it's right after that sequence where he doesn't fly around and get all like the bubbly and the flowers and shit. It just kind of happens.
Superman, I'm your kryptonite.
I couldn't get
Do you
it
know
to
what
work.
doesn't
I
happen?
just sent you a picture.
Also, you know what does?
side.
What was that?
I couldn't get it to work. I've been trying here playing with the picture I got sent to me of
Okay.
Reeves and his son side by side, pretty much.
Yeah, I got it.
Just,
I
I
got you.
sent it to you because
You have control over that stuff. You can do this.
I understand that. I've been trying to figure it out for the
Okay,
last
I'm just
2 or
saying.
3
I'm just
minutes,
saying. You
but
might.
I'm going to draw that picture and hold it up by the time you get it.
He looks just like
there
him,
you go then.
and he's tall. I have no problem with that. Is he a good actor? That's the question. I think he's a news reporter. So he hasn't been to Juilliard. I'm okay with it. But the other change, yeah, Jor-El's the majority of it. Also, you know what doesn't happen? The attack in the White House happens, and a lot of shit happens in it that isn't in the original movie. Like Zod picking up a gun and just kind of firing it around, and watching people just die. And Zod's like, and he's like playing with an M16, and then he drops it. That's weird. And then also,
Sounds like it was darker, Louis. Everything.
a little bit darker. And then the scene where Superman carries the flag back and stands up top. The amnesia kiss doesn't exist in this one. She doesn't like. That's another thing. There's the story. She starts piecing together Clark and Superman much earlier. Can't remember where Christopher Reeves and Ron Williams and Bob McFadden's "Don't Worry, Be Happy." I don't know. Were they?
I have seen Will Reeve on Good Morning America now that Ken says that.
Yeah, I think he's a reporter. I think he's a sports reporter. But like I said, like it doesn't have the sequence with saying to the president, "Don't worry, I'll never do that again," or you'll. That's.
I like Richard Pryor.
McFerrin, Robin Williams, and Bill Irwin is the people in the video. No Christopher Reeves. Superman Legacy will make a cameo in the two reporting of the movie. In The Gloaming, he played the reporter of young Danny in this TV movie. In The Gloaming is one of the movies he directed. Brooke Ellison story is another one he directed. Is an ABC News correspondent. He's fine. I don't think he's into acting. So there's no reason to put that kind of pressure on him. With regards to Don't Worry, Be Happy, it was Bobby McFerrin, Robin Williams, and Bill Irwin. It was directed by Drew Takahashi. So no Chris Reeves in that. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, pretty good. It was a pretty great movie. I highly recommend it. It's going to probably be on Max pretty soon. Speaking of things on Max,
actually, I heard CNN had a part of that too. The Superman.
Yeah, it's CNN, DC.
So it's most likely going to be shown on CNN at some point.
Yeah, I would imagine
a lot of their
Max.
documentaries.
Yeah, it's really good, and the kids are all like, they all seem normal. You know, like sometimes you watch a documentary of rich people's kids, and you're like, they're not. There's something. They're off. Right? They all seem normal. They're all running the foundation. Okay. This is what I was going to say. Speaking of things on Max, let's get into it for a second. Episode 2 is ongoing right now as we're doing our show. Let's talk about the Penguin a little bit. And then we'll talk about the other show.
Other show.
Well, the Agatha All Along. We'll talk about Agatha All Along. I think they're both really good. I also, and I'm gonna talk about another show here that I just hit upon that I wasn't taking seriously, and after the first episode, I'm gonna be honest, I'm completely taking it seriously, and everybody's gonna laugh in a second, but that's okay.
My Little Pony is back.
No, My Little Pony's never really left, to be honest.
The Bugaloos?
The Bugaloos.
Oh, JW's a brony.
Remember the
JW's a
Bugaloos?
brony.
I'm not, but somebody on the network is. JW, don't you disparage my witchy show. I'm not going to disparage it. Relax. Okay, so we're going to talk about 3 TV shows that premiered this past week. First one we're going to talk about, and nobody is talking about it, but they should be. This show. It is a Matlock reboot. It is Kathy Bates playing a Matlock reboot. JW is not a brony.
I think he's a closet brony.
I'm not. Matlock. I gotta tell everybody, go find this show. Go find the show before it gets ruined. Because From and Tulsa King are back, both good shows. But I was surprised at how good the Matlock show is. And it premiered this Sunday, and it doesn't premiere again until October, first week in October. So it's got hasn't started yet, but she's retiring after some. Okay, I don't care. What if she does this show? What I'm going to say to you is, first episode is really good. It is a legal drama. It's very much like Suits-ish, right? But the key to the show is twist. There's a twist, and I'm not going to talk about the twist at all, but there is a twist, and it's a big twist, and it's an amazing twist, and it will knock your socks off, because it completely changes the trajectory of the show. It goes from being a boring, simple reboot to, forget the shows, Aubrey Plaza, hubba hubba. I understand that too. But it goes from being a completely different, what you think it is, and then what it is at the end with the twist, And she said
There's
not
a
to
dude
talk about
tied
this
up at her
with-
house.
What's up?
She has a dude tied up at her house.
Maybe. Maybe.
And he has
I'm
to
not
drink
gonna say no. I'm just gonna say maybe. I will say it's one of the better television twists. The Penguin. Let's talk about that quick. What is there to say except I like the Batman movie. I like everybody involved with this. I love Colin Farrell. I needed a drink. I think the interesting thing is they're cobbling from a bunch of different comic books, including the amazing The Long Halloween, which is where this particular Batman is the whole first Batman movie and the beginnings of this have pieces of The Long Halloween from them. The psychotic sister, the daughter of Carmine Falcone, who's a sociopath. Alberto Falcone, who's like a young mafia guy in the making. Penguin needs no, he doesn't. He's fine. I'm fine. Everything.
Quack, 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 quack.
Well, he's got a hobble from the movie, right? And now we see what happened. It's grisly what happened to him in the movie to his feet. It's a great take on the Penguin. It's going to be interesting. It sets up a lot of things in motion. And if I wanted to do research and study up, I would check out the Long Halloween. That is my answer. It's one of the great Batman comics of all time. You cannot really go wrong with it. It's one of the very best Batman comics. And then also we have to talk about this. There's a sequence on the train. I'm going to show a picture. The foot thing will give me nightmares for weeks. Gas. It's gross. There's a sequence on the train. I took a picture of my television. That particular Long Halloween is amazing. It is. That particular QR code actually led somewhere. One of the places it led was to this. Can you take down the comments for a second? It led to a story in the Gotham Gazette about Alberto Falcone.
That's pretty neat.
What's going to happen with the city? But it also led. A QR code that has a lot to do with the original movie. The person on the train, and I'll give you. Hold on one second.
It's the India Escape.
Who's pulling the train?
Just give me a second, will you? Shut up.
Three-card pass. Charles Bronson. Just guessing. Steven Seagal.
Of course I can't.
Under Siege
Anyway,
2.
of course I get it. There's somebody on the train and they're dressed up like the Riddler, okay, from the original movie. The QR code is there. If you link onto the QR code, it takes you to a place called Gotham's True Face, which is a website, and on that website, it redirects back to the Rada Lada website, which was part of the original Batman, the Batman movie, which is Rada Lada is flying rat in Spanish, and basically it was used for cryptic Riddler themed marketing and all kinds of cool stuff leading up to the original Batman. When you look at it, it says a bunch of. This is what it says. It says. Rain in Tin. Arkham's releasing patients and Blackgate is a mess. No one's really a prisoner there, not even our old pal Sal Maroni. Hold the Line 81 says people say they want the truth, but they shield their eyes when we shine the light. Determinator, let's make sure they're not blinded again to the corruption, the killings, the Falcone power grab. Hold the Line 81 when we start in the streets. Tonight at 9 p.m., meet at the Metro at outside Crown Point. Clockbreaker 3, done and done. The revolution is just getting started. So the background of the show is somebody breaking the Riddler out of Arkham, and I need to. I need to put this through to people. If you remember, at the end of the Batman, the Riddler was also hanging out with somebody else in Gotham, in Arkham. Does anybody remember who he was hanging out with? He was hanging out with Barry Keoghan's character, who was unnamed but had a huge smile. So, there's very high talk that this particular sequence or things are going to leave. The show starts a week after the Batman ends, so Gotham is still somewhat underwater. This leads me to believe they're going to be breaking the Riddler out. That's going to be part of the show. So
riddle me this.
It's got a lot going on. It's well done. It's all about gang. It's all about gang stuff. And I do love the fact that they introduce a character and he gets like 10 minutes of screen time. I'm not going to say who it is, spoiler. But they introduce a character and he immediately gets killed. And I was like, yes, that's the show I want. Damn straight. Now, the other show that everybody's talking the really, and wait, Danny DeVito, throw mama, go back. What was Ravens? Re-leaning into her being ham and very early. It's amazing. Yeah. Krista Melody is. Yeah. So Long Halloween involves a character that's going around killing various members of Gotham's crime families. And she announces pretty early on that she is.
Elliot Stabler did what?
A serial killer. Krista Melody.
Elliot Stabler.
That's not Elliot. That's not Elliot Stabler.
Christopher Maloney plays Elliot Stabler.
Christopher Maloney. I'm saying Krista Melody. You're a jackass. I hate you. I hate you, Gal. But yeah, there's a lot going on.
Everything leads back to SVU. Everything.
I think it's going to be a great show. I think it's also going to lead into the next Batman movie, which I enjoyed Pattinson. Where do I know her from? She looks familiar. She's been in a lot of shows.
SVU.
No, she wasn't on SVU. I hate you. I hate you sometimes. Absolutely hate you. Where you might know her from? Let's see.
Jerry just fell out of his chair.
No, maybe she was in this.
She was in The Wolf of Wall Street. She was in Brass Teapot, I Am Ben, Sleepwalk with Me. She was on The Sopranos. She was in 3 Pounds. Recently, she was on Bob's Burgers. She was on In the Resort. She was on Made for Love as Hazel Green, which is a great show. She's also been on Fargo, Family Guy, Black Mirror, Modern Love. So many things. Movie-wise, Palm Springs. She was in Palm Springs. Breakable You and It Had to Be You. And Wolf of Wall Street. But she's been in a lot of stuff. She's a really good. Kristen Melody is a really great young actress. Christopher Maloney was in Man of Steel. That is true. Thanks, Cheetah.
And he's a great young actress, like you said.
Some nights I just want to punch you, and I can't because you're all far away. Don't
worry. There's a hurricane coming for you.
I understand.
Oh,
Sopranos. Maybe that's where I know her from. Yeah. Made for Love is also. Let's see. Other things that need to be talked about.
Elliot.
Let's do this next, so Raven's not upset with us. Agatha All Along 2-episode premiere last week. Yeah, laugh out loud. Missy, punch cow for JW. Please do. How I Met Your Mother. She was the mom. There you go. That's a good one. That's another good one. Agatha All Along. Okay, so I am a huge fan of WandaVision. I love that they but they had perfect recreations of television shows. The first episode of Agatha All Along was a perfect recreation of Mare of Easttown. And I think Catherine Hahn is on fire. I think Aubrey Plaza is really interesting. I think there's a lot going on. Second episode where they did the Coven. Spectacular. We got Patti LuPone, Sashira Zameda. You got all these, great actresses. and down the witch road, right? We're going the witch road. So they already have a hit song out of the show. We don't know who the kid is. I do love that the trick their Audrey Plaza the knife kinky. Yeah, dangerous. She was very dangerous. We don't know who she is.
That's when you get Christopher Maloney to investigate you. That's a sex crime.
Why don't you shut the fuck up?
Dong dong.
Oh god, I hate it.
We only investigate the
Okay,
most heinous crimes.
I think we're gonna have there are questions. I'm now sold that the teen is Billy, but could be Nick. No spoilers. I don't have any spoilers to give. I will say I love what the tricks they're doing, so that she can't hear or his mouth sews up so he can't see what he's saying. I love all those things. I think that's great. I don't know who Aubrey Plaza is.
I got him there, Raven. Just remember that. I got him there.
Yes, he got me to fucking curse. Because I just wanna.
I don't curse. Ask my mom.
Oh, your mom's watching. I don't want to curse in front of your mom. I like your mom.
Too late.
Yeah, it's already too fucking late.
Jerry combing his hair is his fucking coping mechanism.
Just so we're clear, you
can tell how well it works too.
Just so we're clear, Mrs. Kamora, it's all Kyle's fault. I'm usually a good boy. You don't know who the kid is. You read Marvel. No, okay. So the kid could be any number of things. As Aubrey Plaza could be any number of characters. Is she a gender changed nightmare? Is like we don't know who we're gonna get. Oh, you're funny. Anyway, I'm sold on it. I think it's pretty good. I think the actors involved are pretty good. I think it's got a high quality. I like that it's pro LGBTQ. I'm all for that. I'm all for Disney pushing the danger buttons and then watching people go crazy trying to review bomb a show that why do you care? Just walk away. If you don't want to watch it, don't fucking watch it. But I like everything about the Witchy Road. I like everything about Agatha. I think she's a good character. I assume she's going to be a good guy when we get there. And I enjoyed it. I hope that Jerry with his comb knife. It's his new prop. But finishing up. Hi, Cindy. Thank you for coming. This show. This is the show everybody should at least give the first episode to. And if you figure it out before you get to the end, more power to you. But if you don't, I think the show is going to be a crackerjack show because I think it could have been one thing, but I think it's going to be something else. So, and it's great. Kathy Bates is really good. As we all know, she's been a great actress for a long time. Oh, no. I'm not even reading that. That's gross. Do you think Stable and Benson will ever hook up? Haven't they already hooked up? You don't know, Kyle? You're supposed to be the expert on SVU. Everything goes through SVU.
They didn't. They have not.
I'm going to be honest.
Screen.
I don't watch SVU, so not my gig. Okay. Not yet. Okay, let's talk about something. We were having a lot of questions. We did the Hellboy episode of Generation Movie 2 weeks ago. We had a lot of questions about where Hellboy the Crooked Man was going to be. It was supposed to open this week. I have an answer for you people.
Joe, that's a good one.
And here it is. Available to watch in 14 days. I did this today on my phone. So it is not going to get a theatrical release at all.
No.
So what that means is, let me cue the music for you. It's wah wah. It's going to be released 14 days. It's R-rated. Yeah, it's not great. Available to watch in 14 days. It's unfucking believable. I'm not old enough to watch Matlock. I'm going to tell you right now. You're making jokes. It's not facts. I'm going to tell you right now. The show has a lot going on underneath that you do not know. If you get through the first episode and you're not intrigued by where it could go, with the subject
I mean-
matter it's attacking.
No, you do live in Florida, and you order the blue plate special, so might be.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
Joe,
old enough to
and
watch
this
it.
I'm gonna say to everybody who's watching the show tonight. If you watch the first episode and the fucking twist does not floor you, I'm wrong. You're right. You will not enjoy the show. But I thought the twist was so good because again, I was assuming it was this, and it was something else. And so the something else is
She's like a Dexter.
the something else is what it's not Dexter. The something else is
The Fury.
very much in tune with 2024.
My client couldn't have done it because I did it.
Oh God, I fucking hate you both
The
sometimes.
two Utes.
Not Jerry usually, but you
Two
all the
youths.
time. Can you just
Two
trust
youths.
me?
Scot-free.
Can I get enough people on the episode to just watch the episode, and then if I'm wrong, I don't think I'm. I probably got nervous after the Crow piece of shit. Yes, Crow was bad. It was so bad, but yeah, they're also having a really down year. Like,
Listen, I always keep my bathtub full of water just in case, okay? I don't want to fucking hear it.
I need to make a movie scene.
I couldn't get past it. I'm honest with you people. I could not
Yes,
get
with Barney
past.
Fife.
That's a deep cut, Jasper, because you're trying to do like a Matlock
Yeah.
/ Andy Griffith / that's a whole heart. Now Jasper's now. I mean, it kind of reminds me how it was just really trying to wait a minute. We're in the middle of a pandemic for that.
Hellboy being released straight to video.
No, Halloween wasn't really just no. That's not how it happened. Halloween was big. The Halloween reboot was huge. The Halloween reboot
Wow,
had almost.
you sound like you're running for office right now. It was big, huge, I tell you, big.
Please never do
Been
that
in Florida
again.
way too long, buddy.
Never do that again.
Wait a minute. What's that saying? Halloween was just released.
Yeah, that's Halloween released the theaters. Halloween.
The original Halloween?
No, I think she's talking about 2018. 2018 Halloween was not part of the pandemic. That was 2018, and that movie had an opening weekend of $76 million.
Oh, is that all?
So no, it's
Fake news. Fake news.
This is a dumpster fire.
Huge.
Which
Big,
everybody knew was going to be a
huge.
dumpster fire from the first trailer. The trailer was awful, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm hopeful because I love Mike Myers' tears in his eyes." Are you missing the sarcasm?
Oh, yeah. Baby.
Oh no, I guess it was a text. I guess I'm missing the
Huge.
sarcasm.
Big, huge.
Wayne's World. Wayne's
I guess
World.
I'm missing the sarcasm. Okay, Kyle, time for you to go away. Jerry,
No.
it's my favorite part of the week. Can we take the comment down? Thank you.
Tears in his eyes.
It came from Jerry's basement. Best part of the week. Jerry, what movie you got this week?
This week, I have.
Oh, wait, let me take the thing down, then you can put it up.
This
Go ahead.
week, I have a hidden gem
It is a
Oh.
gem.
of the animals.
Yeah, Day of the Animals. Here it is. For centuries, they were hunted for bounty and fun and food. Now it's their turn. Okay, so this is a 77 horror film.
Yep.
It's
Christopher
It's-
George and Linda George and
Christopher
Leslie
George,
Nielsen.
Richard Jekyll, Linda Day George, Leslie Nielsen.
Yep.
And basically it's about the Earth's ozone layer causes animals, basically destroys animals' attitudes, like they go crazy, and a group of hapless hikers must survive the animal onset and make their way to safety, even as the psychosis turns them against each other. So all forms of animals are having a rough day.
particularly Leslie Nielsen. You get to
Yes.
watch Leslie Nielsen fight a bear in this movie.
It's
It's amazing. But he has a great attitude. Like you're used to seeing him do funny stuff for the most part, like our childhood, basically, right? But he gets so serious in this movie, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's it didn't do great at the box office. It only cost 1.2 million to make. It's short. It's fun. It's a really good. It's a really little film. You know what I mean? It had a movie tie-in, novelization. Um,
Yep.
but you know, it's a natural horror film kind of thing. Kingdom of the Spiders, Frogs, Night of the Lepus. It's in the same kind of
Yep.
horror.
Hole in the ozone. The higher elevation they go, that's where
The
it all
terrifying world
starts.
the terrifying story of a world gone mad. Where can people find this, Jerry?
This can be found on Tubi.
Tubi, Day of the Animals, and here is Leslie Nielsen looking buff in a scene from the film. Hold on, look at him all buff and like talking to hikers. That kid in the back looks like he shot somebody. But it's a fun movie, and it's 97 minutes. It's not. If you like movies like Grizzly or Prophecy or Night of Lepus or Frogs or Kingdom of the Spiders, it's in that vein, and it's right in that time period of movies where, you know, they're making movies where like animals go fucking crazy. What the fuck? You know, kind of movies. Cursing way too much now tonight. Kyle has me cursing. And then I blame him, Cindy Kamora. I blame him.
Probably secretly my fault though, but that's okay.
No, I don't think it's your fault. I don't blame you for anything.
I'm good at doing that.
Now we move on to my other favorite moment of the week. Twilight Zone Redux. Tiger King. No, it's not Tiger King. Twilight Zone. Fucking hate Kyle. I hate Kyle so much. Twilight Zone Redux. This is an episode I've never seen, Jared.
No, I liked it though.
Oh my god, it's a tremendous episode. So, did you say Kingdom of the Frogs? No, I said Kingdom of the Spiders. I said Frogs.
Kingdom of the Spiders. Shatner.
The kid looks like he hasn't eaten. Yeah, the kid's about to be eaten. Take down the comments for a second, Kyle. We're working on the other one, JW curses.
Tarantulas.
It's all Kyle. Raven. I can curse like okay. This is episode 29 of the American television anthology series. It premiered April 29th, 1960. Month of November, hot chocolate and a small cameo of a child's face, imperfect only in its solemnity. And these are the improbable ingredients to a human emotion. An emotion, say, like fear. But in a moment, this woman, Helen Foley, will realize fear. She will understand what are the properties of terror. A little girl will lead her by the hand and walk her into a nightmare. So the episode starts with this woman, Helen Foley, coming home from school. She's a teacher. She's going to her apartment. She walks past this little girl sitting on the steps. And basically, like, the little girl is, like, very, you know, she's singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And although Helen doesn't know her, the little girl seems to know her. Right? So Helen doesn't know the little girl, but the little girl seems to know her. And basically, Helen is a kind soul, and this was the 50s, or this was the 60s. So basically, she invites the little girl in for hot chocolate, because we could do that in the 60s, because it wasn't creepy or crazy. JW monologue means sleepy time. Wow. I won't do it anymore. I'll stop.
Oh, we're
done. No, we're done. No, we're done. Kyle is making crack comments. We're done. The Twilight Zone thing is over. The experiment's over. Come on back, Kyle. No, we're done. You win. You bummed me out. Come on. Come on back. No, seriously. Wait. Come on back. You bummed me out. We're done. I won't do the Twilight Zone stuff anymore. We're good.
Cannibal Holocaust. How about Make Them Die Slowly? I like that better than Cannibal Holocaust. And Eaten Alive is a good one too. Well, no,
Eaten Alive is great.
Yeah,
Dead Alive is good too.
Mangiati Vivi. Eaten Alive like cannibals. I got on a cannibal kick for a while.
Did you eat them all up?
Oh, I did. Well, this is a cannibal flick too, behind me.
Man from Deep River. Yeah. I'm not doing Night Gallery until we finish Twilight Zone.
1989.
I did look into buying the Night
I had
Gallery
parents
so we
on
could do
VHS
them.
too.
But we would have to get through Twilight Zone to get to Night Gallery because you have to understand what the procession of Serling's writing talents. We can't get through this. I guess we can't get through that. Anyway, back to the show. So
She tells her, the little girl starts telling her things about her that the little girl shouldn't know.
yeah, and she picks up on different things, and basically, as it progresses out, she says, "My name's Marky," and then this creepy dude comes to the goddamn door, and this guy is named Selden, and he says he knows her mom.
Right.
And
she saw him earlier in the episode,
and she saw him, and the little girl mentioned it. Did you see anybody that jogged your memory that reminded you of something? Yeah. And so basically, and then the little girl, when the guy comes to the door, the little girl leaves. She just runs out the back door.
Right.
And what we find out, later in the episode is the little girl that she's been palling around with is named Marky. The guy at the door tells her that he knew her mother and that Marky was her nickname as a child. And then it goes back to the night her mother was viciously murdered. And up until this point, Helen has blocked out everything that's happened on that night. But as it turns out, Selden, this guy Selden, he was playing around with the books, and her mother had found out about it and was going to let him in. And basically, he killed her mother.
Yep.
And so we get this whole concept of the idea of your memories or your thoughts. One thing I was thinking about watching this episode, Jerry, how consistent, right? The child performances.
Yeah, she was really good.
The child performances in Twilight Zone episodes are phenomenal.
Yeah, they found some really good kids.
Yeah, I don't know. Her name's Terry Burnham, and she's great as the kid.
She played it very stoic too, right?
It's stoic, and it's like she's a little adult.
Yeah.
She's like, well, are you remembering anything yet?
No, you
don't
remember.
Tell me you don't. You remember. You have a burn on your arm, and she looks down, and they both have the same burn. So it's basically she's having a conversation with her own psyche to try to jolt her memory when she sees this guy who the little girl knows murdered her mother.
Yep.
And so the episode ends with Selden coming and saying, "I've been watching you for 10 years, watching you go to college, watching you grow up. The cops had told me at the time that you would never remember what happened, but I knew someday your memory would jog, and that's why I'm here to kill you now." So it becomes a struggle. She pushes him down the steps, he dies. And that's how the episode ends, with basically a doctor explaining to a cop, the cop is like, "Who's the little girl she's talking about?" And the doctor's like, "The little girl's her." The little girl is her, and basically it's a fantastic episode. Everybody is really good in it. The little girl in particular, Janice Rule as Helen Foley, is really good. The closing narration goes, "Miss Helen Foley, who has lived in night and who will wake up to morning. Miss Helen Foley, who took a dark spot from the tapestry of her life and rubbed it clean, then stepped back a few paces, and got a good look at the Twilight Zone." Great episode. If you're
I don't recall seeing this one before.
I don't ever recall seeing this one. And
it's funny how often we're saying that, because I feel like I've seen them all.
I feel like we've seen.
But it's like I see it, I'm like, I don't remember this at all.
That's actually a good point. The episodes where there are kids are actually pretty decent. Do you think it was better children actors, a different film, less some child protection? I don't think so. I think the kids all look remarkably comfortable. I think it's the staff. I think it's the storytelling. I think it's the scripts. Right?
Even the girl at the end was pretty good for the little thing.
Yeah, no, there's a little girl at the end that she is singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star," and Helen goes out to meet her too. And basically, you get the idea that Helen's going to move on with her life.
My Dolly has a nice smile.
My Dolly has a nice smile too. Yeah, I I enjoyed the episode. I think it's like I said. I think one of the things I noticed about this episode was all the child acting in Twilight Zone episodes is better than any child acting we have now. I don't think it has anything to do with productions, but it could have something to do with just maybe. I just think the scripts are easy to understand, and maybe they're to explain to the kids like, act like an adult or whatever. And it's. I think Rod Serling knows what the
Well,
fuck
life
he's
was a
doing.
little different then too, so you have to take those things into
I
account.
think all of the people working on these episodes are all like very similar directors, right? This one's Alvin Ganzer. It's written by Rod Serling, so it's a Rod Serling story. I just think it's a remarkable thing. Now, Jerry, I was excited. We get episode 30 next week, right? Episode 30 is one of the all-time great Twilight Zone episodes, probably top 10 of all time. Next week's episode is called A Stop at Willoughby, which is one I've definitely seen. Years ago, they recovered some Twilight Zone episodes. I think they're all on CBS right now. Everything is on Paramount Plus. But yeah, I think I don't know. I think the writing. There's something about the writing, and like I said, think about this. This is a '60s show. Think about the concept of childhood memories that have been quashed by trauma, and think about how it didn't actually come into play until what, 90s, 2000s. Psychologically speaking, this was made in 1960. This is like the episodes are so far ahead of their time. They're so far ahead of their time. They're so smart and they're so well written. Like he found, like you get the idea. He found an article about the idea of, memory regression therapy or something.
Really,
You know what I
it
mean?
really should be a show that should be appealing now because everybody wants everything like they want everything rapid, right? And that show tells a whole story in 20 minutes, commercial free.
25 minutes.
5 minutes and you're done.
Beginning, middle, and an end.
And it's a full story.
It's a full story, and they're usually well conceived, well made, and amazing. I next week a Stop at Willoughby is one of the great episodes. So I can't wait. What Funko Pop did you get this week? You had to get something. You were down at Dorney for the Haunt Nights or whatever. What'd you get?
Did you get?
Everyone knows my Universal Monster love. So got a Care Bear, Frankenstein mashup one.
Nice.
Grumpy Bear as Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, I forgot you like the Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I have that Frankenstein.
October 26th, I believe it is. Mahoning Valley Drive-In, Universal Monsters Weekend. They got Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein playing.
Oh,
on a
that's
Saturday night.
That's gonna be good. Well, the reboot did okay. That Jordan Peele did okay. Didn't do great though. Jordan Peele, by the way, is rebooting Scare Tactics, which is a fun show. Just keeping you guys in the loop. We may be working a promotion for Mark Price, Family Ties, Trick or Treat, and much more. Is doing a comedy act down here. Super excited. Good.
right.
We'd love to have him on the show. I'd love to have. I want to call him Mark Price. I don't want to call him Skippy. I feel like that's derogatory. I'm going on a date with Kyle that night. Laugh out loud. Nice. Missy's coming too. Bear good. Let's see what else. You have a show this week, don't you? Or October 5th? No, this Friday.
Yeah, we're
Dingbats.
playing Friday.
This Friday.
Dingbats
In Clifton, New Jersey.
It's a
Excellent.
cool place. It's we just played there. We played there about 3 months ago now, and we saw a sticker that we had put there when we played there 17 years ago. The sticker says MySpace on it.
Nice.
It's
Now
awesome.
you're dating
Took a
yourself.
picture of
Ooh,
it.
didn't hear about the Scare Tactic reboot. It was all over Raw this past
It
Monday
was
night.
MySpace, now he's My Chart.
It premieres Friday, October 4th on USA. And the first people that get scared are apparently the New Day. It's the three members of the New Day being scared by Cody Rhodes. So, by the way, shout out. We don't do a lot of wrestling, but I don't know it's the right time, but I'm going to say yeet. Congratulations to Jey Uso winning his first singles title. I don't know that it's the right time.
You,
I don't know he
you
should have beat who he beat, but we'll see. Unless they're going to do something great with him. I think they could have a really good, once Punk and McIntyre get done, McIntyre and Jay could be a good fight because I think Punk's going to move on to Gunther. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, that starts on Friday. Kyle, what about you? Got anything planned? Anything going on? Anything in the no?
nothing I can talk about yet.
Well, okay. That sounds like you have something going on.
Oh,
I might. Hopefully next week I can drop some really good details.
Okay, cool. You can find me, JW Movie Guy, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, all those big things. You can also find me not every Monday night, but most Monday nights with my good friend Rich Dries, and
what's
we
coming
do
up
it
this Monday?
This Monday. We have a gem of a movie, a satire wrapped inside a great comedy, wrapped inside a love for 1930s rat-a-tat-tat comedies, and an amazing performance by Jennifer Jason Leigh and Paul Newman. We have
I love Jason Lee and Mallrats.
the Hudsucker Proxy, for kids. And it's just it is a funny movie. It is well done. Jennifer Jason Leigh is doing her best 1930s Her Girl Friday kind of impression. Paul Newman smoking a stogie on the poster, and he's just an asshole of a character. And Tim Robbins is the mail boy who they basically set up to frame for a lot of things wrong with this corporation called, that he works for. So, but he invents something cool. So, it is a fantastic movie. And then the following week, leading into Halloween,
He invent heroin.
I don't know. What was that about heroin? Following week, we're doing this, Jerry. Dark Star.
I have that here somewhere.
David Grant presents a John Carpenter film from Alan Dean Foster, first 2001: A Space Odyssey, then Poseidon Adventure, now Dark Star, bombed out in space with a spaced out bomb. So it's one of the first John Carpenter movies, a great John Carpenter movie, underrated John Carpenter movie, celebrating its 50th anniversary. So, Jackass. Yes, but it's the Scare Tactics reboot is done by Jordan Peele, so the things look like they're going to be fun. They look at least moderately well written by the Monkey Paw folks. Okay, well, we'll see everybody next week. Thank you for joining us tonight. Stay safe. A lot of good shows. Agatha continuing, Penguin continuing. Go watch Matlock. Trust me. Just trust me.
Watch Twilight Zone. Find Day of the Animals too.
And find Day of the Animal.
It looks corny. It's kind of corny.
Vic Morrow died during Twilight Zone movie. Yeah, that's one of the saddest Twilight Zone stories. But thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see everybody next week. Stay safe. Get ready for Halloween season. Also, in the next couple of weeks, get ready for the return of the game where Jerry has to figure out a movie in 2 lines.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's coming back.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah, it's coming back.
The heat is on.
Have a great week. We'll see everybody. If you're in Florida around Joe, please be careful. Go watch good shows like From and Tulsa King, and also Matlock, and also Agatha, and also The Penguin.
But not Twilight Zone.
Joe, please watch the Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone is great. You can make fun of it all you want, but it's fantastic. And if you're in Florida or anywhere in the bad zone, please be careful.
That's because Hypnotoad.